overall, you feel happier being a foreigner expat in Singapore or in China?
I have to say Singapore, I feel happier. Just because I am somebody who likes to do my own stuff. I don't want to rely on anybody. Whereas in China, I have to rely on people a little bit more. And I think, of course, it's the language that's the issue. I feel that my work-life balance is not very good in Singapore. And, I made a joke to my friend. He's like, what's your favorite part of Singapore? And I was like, Changi Airport, right? Because I could just beep, I can get in and I can, an hour and a half, I'm in Phuket, and an hour and a half, I'm back in Singapore, so because, I'd go out with a couple of friends of mine, and we'd spend like $800. And I was like, we could have just flew to Phuket and flew back and partied for the night and probably had $100 left in our pocket. I think for that, Singapore is better for me. It's quieter too. I do like that. I do think, I cook a lot at home. I used to be grew up, from 15 to 22, I did a lot of work as a cook. So I wish the groceries were better, but I can't complain. It's too much.
What's the biggest differences in daily life for you? Life in China versus life in Singapore?
There's not much of a work balance and life balance in Singapore. It's very hard.
Even compared to China?
Oh yeah, it's very hard. It's very hard to have one here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, very hard.
Can you elaborate on that?
Well, I get up. I like to get to work early and things like that. It's sort of my style. And so I'm either up at like around 5 in the morning, sometimes 6, depending on if I'm going to the gym before, which I'm not right now. So and then I go to work, and schools in Singapore are very, 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 very demanding. Very demanding.
Even international schools.
Absolutely, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, very demanding. No, I'm not complaining about it. I think I've become a better teacher in the last year and a half, and
demanding
like that.
not from students, but from teachers.
Depending from the school, and the amount of work they put on you. Example, meetings and schedule-wise classes, and then there's also dealing with the parents. On top of all having a heavy schedule, you have to deal with parents. And of course, you're dealing with kids all day. So I'm not complaining about the compensation or the job. Actually, it's quite high demand. I used to make a joke like, what's the difference between working as a teacher in Singapore and China? And I was about 3 hours of YouTube a day. And they're like, what do you mean? It's like, you could actually probably watch 3 hours of YouTube at work in China, because if you can prep and do all your stuff like a professional, and you teach your 3 or 4 max classes a day, then you're done, right? But if you're not prepared, of course you're working hard. But whereas in Singapore, I can prepare, and I'm working 5-6 classes plus a meeting and plus an after-school meeting. Now that's not every day, but it's still quite a heavy schedule to go through. Transportation system is very good here, and Singapore is not very big. I would say that the fact that it's so cheap in China to travel everywhere, like a taxi and stuff like that, you're always out and about. Right? Like, example, if I came down from like Boutique Panjang downtown China, that might cost me like $8 Singapore dollars. It's always going to be $8 Singapore dollars, and if you call a Grab, it's probably $6 Singapore dollars, and it'll always be like that because there's so much competition. So you'll be like, oh, okay, I'll go down for an hour. Right, but when it costs you $40 to go down here and $40 to go back, you're probably like, I'm not going to go, So.
But the salary is also higher in Singapore, no?
But it's relative, right? So I mean, as an international school teacher in China, you can make a very good salary there. Would be about maybe up to like 8,000 Singapore dollars.
Okay.
And you can make it more even. I'm just saying that's probably a good start with housing. But then you're not living in a 1-bedroom loft or a studio. Example, my friend lives in Xiamen. He has a 3-story house, and he's paying 800 Singapore dollars for that. One of the floors isn't fixed, but the other 2 are. And he's paying $800 for that. So it's not. So it's relative, right?
So their good salary would be like up to 8K. Here, good salary would be. I
would say 13. 12, 13. Like, to feel comfortable, and that's because, but then like I said, the lifestyles, food is, very cheap, in China. I know people might argue the quality or things like that, but you go to the restaurants, and the restaurants are what I can eat for 2 people here. I can probably feed 6 people in Shenzhen at a nice restaurant. Like I went to Newton. I think I spent $150 on stuff. And China could have went to a really nice restaurant, nice chairs, air conditioning, and had roasted pig and duck and things like that. There's not a lot of Kevins or Karens either in China. No, rarely. People tend to mind their own business, because I think culturally, like if you put your nose in other people's things, it could end up badly historically, I think. So like people tend to, like, if someone's doing something wrong, like people just turn a blind eye to it. I'm not,
They don't report you.
Yeah, they're not like, I'm not talking about like, hitting your wife on the street or something like that, but talking about like, if we went behind that tree and urinated, they won't pull out the cameras and film you, or they probably won't like that the foreigner's doing that. But people sort of stay away, but very friendly. That's one thing I have to say, like with all the pains or, maybe dislikes when I had in China, like living there, I would always say, like, you don't know China if you haven't been there. Like the people are super friendly, and other than cultural differences and languages and stuff like that, very nice place too. And even the person sitting on the corner street, like fixing your shoes or something like that for like $2 is like quite friendly, like cordial. They're not miserable.
How would you compare Chinese and Singaporeans overall, like in the daily communicating, making friends, or like? I
really enjoy my Singaporean colleagues. They're very, bubbly, and maybe it's that industry of teaching, but they all seem very, very good. And I'd say a lot of them are family oriented too.
Yeah.
I think that's important to be a teacher. It's sort of my thing. Like I find like if a teacher doesn't have kids, they're never a really good teacher yet. Sorry to say if you never had kids and you're a teacher, I'm not meaning that, but I'd say like you learn empathy, sympathy, and when your 11-year-old doesn't do something and you see another 11-year-old not be able to do something, you
kind of understand how it works with kids.
And whereas in China, very, very family oriented. In some cases, when you're working in a place I would say in some international schools in China, there is sort of like this bitterness that you can feel as a foreign teacher from a good majority of Chinese teachers.
Why?
Because you make higher salaries. And even though they're qualified, just as qualified as you, they're paying for the skin color. I mean by like you're also marketing. Like the parents want to see an American teacher when they're teaching American curriculum. Parents want to see, a British teacher when their kids are studying to try and get into Oxford.
Which kind of makes sense, because our daughter goes to international school. She's in bilingual program, English, Chinese, and Chinese is taught by Chinese, and it's good for us. This proper Chinese would teach her Chinese language.
But I would say like, you have some people they're excellent in English. Like they've studied in the US for 5-6 years, and they've come and they're back and they don't have an accent, and they're, and they're making maybe like, half the salary, which is still a good salary like in China. But I always argue with the fact that like this salary is based on the fact that you're moving to another culture, you're leaving your family, you're dealing with all this other stuff.